So the sky replacement feature in Photoshop is quite simply amazing. Let's start with this image. All you have to do is go to edit and down to sky replacement. It's going to open up a dialog box. And what it's going to do is it's going to automatically load the first sky that happens to be selected. And it's going to do, this is non-destructive. It's going to create masks for everything. And then you can just toggle through which skies would you like? Would you like a pretty blue sky or a sunset sky? A sunset sky would probably work better for this image. Yeah, I sort of like the drama that creates. And again, once you've chosen your sky, you can also add your own skies here with the add button. But now let's go tweak it just a little bit. First, the sky adjustments. Maybe make it just a little darker. Maybe make it a little bluer. Or do I want to make it more yellow? Yeah, I think I'll make it more warm, like a sunset. I can scale it just a touch if I want to. And then if it starts looking weird, remember you can click in your sky and drag it to wherever you need to so that it looks appropriate based on the point of view and the depth of field that's there. You kind of have to match that up with your scene a little bit. And I'm just dragging the scale slider back and forth to figure out where that's going to be. I'm going to say it's somewhere right in there. My lighting adjustment, should that be on screen? Something like that. I can make the color contaminate the foreground. See how all that warm color came to the foreground? And when I click OK, look at all of these layers that it created for me just to make it fit. Let's try a second one. Okay, this will be harder, right? A lot of shallow depth of field, real blurry horizon line, a lot of fine hair around here. Let's see how it does. Edit, sky replacement. And for this one, I don't think sunset would look good. I think I like this. That's nice. So that's the great thing. You get to kind of choose which ones you like. I think I like this one. I like that bright spot, but I want to move it. So click back over here and let's scale that up just a touch. And then I'm going to click and just drag so that it's almost like I've dodged behind her, but it's a natural part of the light. Maybe I'll brighten the sky a little bit. Add a little yellow, just a touch, and then figure out how much of the color contamination do I want to come into the scene. Maybe something like that. And I'm going to click OK. And now looking at this, there's a real shallow depth of field. Super blurry, right? So that sky would be blurry as well. So I would just click on the sky layer, go up to filter, down to blur, go down to lens blur, which will give you more accurate shallow depth of field looking blur than Gaussian blur would. And then just up your radius, blade curvature, and rotation to make it about as blurry as you think the foreground was. I think something like that'll work. All right, so that's nice and soft and blurrier, which I really like. Now I'd probably just brighten her up a touch. Little contrast jump, something like that. And if that's too much, just fade it back a little bit. So again, we went from here to here very quickly without a ton of selection. Now here's an interesting thing that I want you to think about. What happens if you have a reflection? So let's go ahead and choose edit sky replacement. Okay, I'll stay with the pink clouds. I'll let the edge stay where it is. I'll let it stay on multiply. I'm just going to click OK. And it's going to give me that version of the sky replacement. I'm going to go to the background, hit Command or Control J to duplicate it, drag it to the top. See that cyan line at the very top? Hit Command or Control T to activate free transform. Right click inside there, click flip vertical, lock it down by hitting enter. And now the thing at the top that's blue is going to be thought of as the sky. Edit, sky replacement. Leave that same sky chosen. Obviously we'd want the same sky, right? And I'll leave everything else very similar, making it a touch brighter. Click OK. And it gave us the sky for there. Now what I'm going to do just to make this simpler is I'm going to hold down the Command key and select that flipped version of the image and that whole sky replacement group. And I'm going to Command Option Shift letter E, compress it to the very top layer. I'm just going to delete these for now to simplify my palette. But here it is, right? This is the original image with the sky replacement. And then here is the flipped image where I put the sky in the water. So I'll select that upside down layer, hit Command or Control T again, right click inside, click flip vertical, hit enter, turn it off and on. You can see what's happening. So essentially, I just need to add a layer mask. If I hold down the Alt or Option key while I click on add a layer mask, it's going to add a black mask, which means it's going to hide everything on that layer. So I hit B for the brush, look at my foreground, make sure it's white, make sure I'm painting with 100% opacity, and I can just paint in the reflection. And we all know reflections are never as intense as the sky, at least most of the time. So I'd probably just lower that down. That way we can still see the ripples. And look how powerful that is. If you're like me, you'll see something that bothers you in the image. And I don't like this horizontal limb here. So I go back down to this original background layer. I'll add a blank layer above it. I'll grab the spot healing brush, left bracket key to make my brush a little smaller, and I'll just paint across there. Say, please get rid of that because I find it so distracting. There must be a little bit here on this layer and a couple little passes to break up the pattern. All right, I like that much better. Now, how about this image? This looks pretty complicated. Let's see how it does. Edit, sky replacement. Now for this one, I think I would go with more of a blue sky. I think it would fit better. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Click OK. I mean, just right away, that's a nice alternative to what we had. Now, here's another thing. If Photoshop thinks it's a sky back there behind your image, it's going to treat it like a sky. So watch this. Edit, sky replacement. And maybe this isn't a good choice for blue. Let's find something else. Something more turbulent, maybe. Yeah, how about this? Kind of stormy. That looks interesting. I don't know how the pink would do, but let's take a look. Kind of interesting. You can see this going floor to ceiling in an airport somewhere. So this has a lot of graphic design applications as well as photography applications. Ooh, I think that's my favorite. That's pretty. Nice. What would I do? I'd like it to be a little bluer, I think. Maybe a little brighter. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Output it. So again, this is just a creative use of the sky replacement tool. If you like this video, make sure you whack it, smack it, and crack-a-lack it. Yes! Hey, what are you still doing here? It's over. Actually, all kidding aside, I hope this video helped. And if it did, consider subscribing. I like subscribers.
That's awesome. What? You just took one in the jugular, man. Whoa. Yes! Oh my God, I did. This is...
Hey, you stayed to the end. You know what that means? You're awesome. I'm talking about you. Now get out of here.